Okay? So, this year's Valentine's Day, it wasn't like any other. Not because of some grand romantic gesture or a fancy date, but well, because of him and what he did. It sounds cheesy, I know, but bear with me. Let me start by saying that I'm not big on Valentine's Day. It always felt kind of manufactured, you know? The pressure to have the perfect day, the forced romance. I just prefer real everyday moments of connection. My boyfriend Alex is usually pretty good about that. He's not the roses and chocolates type, which I appreciate. This year, though, he seemed different. He was acting a bit secretive, always with this little smirk on his face. He'd disappear into his workshop. He's a bit of a tinkerer. And when I'd ask what he was doing, he'd just say, "Oh, just working on something." Suspicious, right? Valentine's Day morning came, and I woke up to the smell of pancakes, which, admittedly, is pretty great. Alex was already in the kitchen, flipping a stack of them like a pro. We had a relaxed breakfast, chatting about work and random things, just like a normal morning. I kept waiting for the big reveal, but nothing. After breakfast, we went for a walk in the park, the usual Saturday thing. Still, nothing out of the ordinary. We fed the ducks, admired the budding trees, and laughed at a particularly goofy looking squirrel. He was being so normal. I started to wonder if he'd forgotten it was Valentine's Day altogether. Finally, back at our place, after a casual afternoon of reading and listening to music, he told me to close my eyes. I was like, okay? Trying to keep my voice even, though I was buzzing with anticipation. He led me, carefully, to his workshop, and when he said, "Okay, open them," I did, and I was speechless. The workshop was usually a chaotic mess of tools and spare parts, but today it was transformed. There were fairy lights strung up around the walls, casting a warm glow, and in the center, on his workbench, was this contraption. It looked like a miniature version of those old-fashioned music boxes, but instead of a cranking handle, it had a tiny solar panel on top. What is this?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He beamed, that little smirk back in full force. "This, Em," he said, "is a custom-built songbox. It plays, well, you'll see." He touched a small switch on the side, and suddenly the most beautiful melody filled the room. It was a song, a simple, sweet tune that I'd hummed in the car one day, a song I'd never even realized he'd noticed. I recorded you humming that," he confessed, blushing slightly. "And then I spent the last few weeks trying to figure out how to make a machine that could play it for you." He said he wanted to give me something unique, something that truly came from him, not something he picked up at a store. It was mind-blowing. It wasn't just a gift, it was a testament to his thoughtfulness, his creativity, and his sheer stubbornness. He hadn't just bought me something, he'd made me something. It was something that showed me how much he really listens, and how much he cares about the little things I do and say. And the fact that he'd figured out a way to capture that random little tune I'd been humming and turn it into something so special, well, it just made my heart melt. I just stood there, a little teary-eyed, listening to that sweet, slightly imperfect melody. It was the most beautiful sound in the world. We spent the rest of the evening just sitting in the workshop, listening to the songbox, talking and laughing. He even made hot chocolate with extra marshmallows, which, let's be honest, is always a good idea. So, yeah, that's my Valentine's Day story.